Welcome back to Today we will learn about the explosive drama unfolding between Gwen Rizek, Sarah Horton, and Xander Cook that threatens to tear apart one of Salem's most anticipated wedding preparations. The web of deception begins. The tranquil atmosphere of Salem has been shattered by Gwen Rizek's latest manipulative scheme, as she deliberately plants seeds of doubt in Sarah Horton's mind about her beloved fiancé, Xander Cook. In what appears to be a calculated move designed to sabotage the upcoming nuptials, Gwen has brazenly informed Sarah that Xander has been making romantic advances toward her. This shocking revelation has sent ripples through the close-knit community, particularly given the complicated history between all three characters. The timing of Gwen's confession is particularly suspicious, coming just weeks before Sarah and Xander's highly anticipated wedding ceremony. Sources close to the situation suggest that Gwen's motivations stem from her own unresolved feelings for Xander, feelings that have been consistently rebuffed throughout their tumultuous relationship. The calculated nature of her approach indicates a deliberate attempt to exploit Sarah's existing insecurities about their relationship, knowing full well that even the smallest doubt could create irreparable damage. Xander's defensive stance reveals hidden tensions. Xander Cook's immediate defensive reaction to Sarah's potential confrontation speaks volumes about the precarious nature of their relationship dynamics. His defensive posture suggests an awareness of how easily his past actions could be misconstrued, particularly given his complicated romantic history with multiple women in Salem. The defensive response also indicates his deep understanding of Sarah's emotional vulnerabilities and his desperation to protect their relationship from Gwen's destructive interference. Witnesses close to the situation have observed Xander's increasing agitation whenever Gwen's name is mentioned in conversation. His body language betrays a man who is acutely aware of the threat that Gwen poses to his happiness with Sarah. The defensive stance he has adopted is not merely reactive but appears to be part of a broader strategy to shield Sarah from Gwen's psychological manipulation tactics. However, this very defensiveness might inadvertently lend credibility to Gwen's fabricated claims in Sarah's mind. The pattern of rejection. Xander's consistent rebuffs. A careful examination of recent interactions between Xander and Gwen reveals a clear pattern of rejection that contradicts Gwen's claims entirely. Multiple witnesses have confirmed that Xander has repeatedly and unambiguously declined Gwen's romantic overtures, often in quite public settings. These rejections have ranged from polite deflections to more forceful dismissals, depending on the persistence of Gwen's advances and the circumstances surrounding each encounter. The most telling evidence against Gwen's credibility lies in Xander's consistent verbal and physical language when in her presence. Security footage from various Salem establishments shows Xander maintaining appropriate physical distance from Gwen, avoiding prolonged eye contact, and frequently redirecting conversations away from personal topics. His body language consistently communicates discomfort and disinterest, particularly when Gwen attempts to create intimate moments or private conversations. Furthermore, reliable sources within Salem's social circles report that Xander has confided in several trusted friends about his concerns regarding Gwen's persistent pursuit. He has reportedly expressed frustration about her inability to accept his clear boundaries and has sought advice on how to handle the situation without creating unnecessary drama that might affect his relationship with Sarah. Sarah's vulnerability. The perfect target for manipulation. Sarah Horton's emotional state makes her particularly susceptible to Gwen's calculated manipulation. Having experienced previous relationship trauma and betrayals, Sarah carries deep-seated insecurities that Gwen appears to be expertly exploiting. Her natural tendency towards self-doubt, combined with her genuine love for Xander, creates the perfect storm for Gwen's psychological warfare to take hold. The sophisticated nature of Gwen's approach suggests careful observation of Sarah's emotional triggers and vulnerabilities. By presenting her fabricated story at a moment when Sarah is already stressed about wedding planning and other life pressures, Gwen maximizes the potential impact of her lies. The manipulation is further enhanced by Gwen's ability to present herself as a reluctant messenger, someone who supposedly struggled with whether to reveal this truth to Sarah. Sarah's history of making impulsive decisions when emotionally triggered adds another layer of complexity to this situation. Her past tendency to react first and analyze later could lead her to confront Xander without carefully considering the source and motivation behind Gwen's claims. This impulsive nature, while often endearing, becomes a significant liability when dealing with someone as calculating as Gwen. The confrontation. A relationship at the crossroads. The anticipated confrontation between Sarah and Xander represents a critical juncture in their relationship trajectory. How Sarah approaches this conversation will reveal much about her level of trust in Xander and her ability to see through Gwen's manipulation. The confrontation also presents an opportunity for Xander to demonstrate his commitment to transparency and his understanding of Sarah's emotional needs. The setting and timing of this confrontation will be crucial factors in determining its outcome. If Sarah chooses to address her concerns in private, it may allow for a more honest and productive dialogue. However, if the confrontation occurs in a public setting or during a moment of high stress, it could escalate into a more damaging argument that plays directly into Gwen's hands. Xander's response strategy will be equally important. His natural defensive tendencies must be balanced with genuine empathy for Sarah's concerns and a clear demonstration of his commitment to their relationship. The challenge lies in defending himself against false accusations while simultaneously validating Sarah's right to seek clarification about troubling information she has received. The broader implications for Salem's social dynamics. This triangular drama extends beyond the immediate participants, potentially affecting the broader social fabric of Salem. Wedding guests and mutual friends find themselves in the uncomfortable position of choosing sides or attempting to remain neutral in an increasingly volatile situation. The ripple effects of Gwen's manipulation threaten to damage multiple relationships and friendships within the community. The situation also highlights the persistent problem of toxic individuals who use emotional manipulation to achieve their personal goals, regardless of the collateral damage they cause. Gwen's actions serve as a reminder of how easily trust can be weaponized and how destructive lies can be when they target existing vulnerabilities in relationships. The question of truth and consequences. As this drama unfolds, the central question remains whether Sarah will recognize Gwen's deception before irreparable damage is done to her relationship with Xander. The answer to this question will likely depend on Sarah's ability to step back from her emotional response and objectively evaluate the evidence before her. Her decision will ultimately determine not only the fate of her relationship with Xander, but also the extent to which Gwen's manipulative tactics will be allowed to succeed in destroying the happiness of others. The consequences of falling for Gwen's provocation extend far beyond a simple argument between engaged couples. A successful manipulation could result in the cancellation of the wedding, the destruction of trust between Sarah and Xander, and the validation of Gwen's belief that she can control and manipulate others to achieve her desired outcomes. Next, a week of shocking turns in Salem. Fists, family feuds, and the fight for the truth. Salem has never been a quiet town. But this week, the drama spills over with raw emotion, misunderstandings, and secrets that could shake lives forever. From sudden punches to tense hypnosis sessions, the residents are about to face moments they'll never forget. Let's walk through everything that's been happening and what's still to come, so you can be ready for every twist. Xander's costly mistake. It all began with a scene that left viewers gasping. Xander, normally a man of sharp wit and controlled strength, let his emotions and temper take over. Acting more like a man who had been drinking, though he hadn't, he shocked everyone when he swung his fist straight at Brady. The problem? Brady hadn't done a thing to deserve it. Sarah had kissed Brady, not the other way around, and Brady was clearly taken by surprise. But here's where it gets even more tangled. Sarah's move wasn't a romantic gesture toward Brady at all. She was acting out because she had just seen something that rattled her. Gabby kissing Xander. Her emotions boiling over, Sarah lashed out, and Xander, already feeling cornered, reacted without thinking. That single punch has now set the stage for an explosive confrontation. If you're following along, you might want to go back and rewatch some of Friday's footage. The clues and expressions there will make Monday's upcoming scene all the more intense. Tuesday's deep dive into the mind of a killer. Moving into Tuesday, August 12th. Salem's focus turns from flying fists to the hidden corridors of the human mind. Marlena, ever the steadfast and patient psychiatrist, once again sits down with EJ for another hypnosis session. Now, these sessions are never easy. Hypnosis can be like tiptoeing into a locked room in someone's memory. Every sound, every flicker of emotion can tell a story. This time, many viewers are wondering if we will finally be allowed inside the head of the mysterious shooter who has been haunting the town's thoughts for weeks. Will we see the memories? Will the truth finally peek through? Even if the shooter doesn't make a physical appearance, there are whispers that EJ may have a breakthrough, a sudden moment where puzzle pieces snap into place. And according to spoilers for later in the week, that breakthrough may be far more shocking than anyone expects. A mother's plea Amy and Sophia while Marlena and EJ wrestle with hidden truths. Another emotional storm brews between Amy and her daughter, Sophia Choi, played by Rachel Boyd. Amy, carrying the weight of both regret and love, visits her daughter with a heartfelt proposal. But the path to reconciliation is anything but smooth. Sophia, a teen mother already carrying her own burdens, has been through more than most her age could bear. She feels a deep guilt about her past choices, but beneath it all, she carries a simmering resentment toward Amy. She blames her mother for pushing her toward the edge, for decisions that led to heartbreak. Will Sophia find it in her heart to accept Amy's olive branch, or will the wall between them grow taller? This is not just a story about a mother and daughter. It's about wounds that time alone cannot heal, and the courage it takes to truly forgive. Johnny's trial, the weight of the future elsewhere in Salem, Johnny DiMera, Carson Boatman, finds himself staring down a future that could take away everything he holds dear. The trial hanging over him is no mere legal squabble. The verdict could send him to prison for years. The pressure is suffocating, but Johnny is not alone. Chanel Dupree, Raven Bowens, his wife and steadfast supporter, stands by him. She has become his anchor in a storm that seems determined to pull him under. As each day in court ticks by, the question looms. Will the jury believe in Johnny's innocence, or will the shadow of doubt seal his fate? Rachel's meltdown, trouble for Kristen and Brady, and then there's young Rachel, the daughter of Kristen DiMera, Stacey Hayduk, and Brady. Rachel is not handling the week's events well at all. She is supposed to testify, an intimidating task for anyone, let alone someone her age. But instead of preparing, she's falling apart. Her tantrums have grown more frequent. Her stomach aches more persistent. She is lashing out, acting up, and refusing to cooperate. Kristen and Brady are at their wits' end, not knowing whether this is fear, manipulation, or a cry for help. If Rachel cannot pull herself together before she takes the stand, her testimony could be in jeopardy, and with it, the cases and conflicts tied to her words. The week ahead, from Xander's reckless punch to Rachel's emotional unraveling, from the tension in Marlena's hypnosis sessions to the fragile bridge between Amy and Sophia. This week in Salem is filled with more than just drama. It's bursting with human emotion. As the days unfold, every word, every action will have consequences. Old wounds may be reopened. New alliances may be formed or broken. And when the dust finally settles, Salem may look the same on the outside. But for those